Why am I alive? Because I can. I'm on my break in Aventura, Florida, doing what I do best, and that's nothing. Absolutely jack squat. That's it. And that's that. I'll be the first one to admit it. I feel like a piece of garbage today. Why? Because I have to fire somebody else again. That's two in a row, 2 days back to back. I hate that. I hate firing people. Oh, it's just not my thing. But yeah, what you gonna do about a guy named Mr. Magoo? You know, I gave these people more chances than I should have, and yeah, fired another one today, and she wouldn't leave. She stayed in the building. She just would not leave the premises, and that became a little bit problematic, right? Just like you're fired, and then she just like looks and stares at you and goes, "Yeah, no." What do you mean no? Can't say no. You're fired. Um, but yeah, she was no fun, no bueno, and gave me a hard time. And then the tears and the crying and the you know, so yeah, I had to let her go based on poor performance, A, and bad attitude, B. That's it. What else you want? You know, if you're not performing and you're costing the company more money than you're making us, then you got to go. You just got to go, right? So that was rough. I don't like firing people. So yeah, that's what I did today, and I feel terrible about it. I had to fire somebody else yesterday, and I feel terrible about that. I mean, these ladies are single moms. They're human beings. They need their job. It's just they're not good at it, and I feel responsible because I've got this stupid optimistic attitude that I can help people, I can train people, I can turn pretty much anyone into a great telemarketer. Well, I suck, I guess, right? Anyways, it is what it is. It's cold in here. So I had to fire somebody else. And now I gotta hire more people. I'm gonna have 2 empty seats in that room. I just hired somebody else named, I'm not gonna mention a name, but it's not working out. And it's starting to take its toll on yours truly a little bit. I am used to producing mind-blowing results. But that's me, right? That's me on the phone. That's me designing something. It's me producing a video. It's me doing ads. It's me, flying my drone, right? But when I have to rely on other people, I focus on leadership, on being a role model, on leading by example. But it's like, I don't know, man. I mean, a lot of people are getting it. Don't get me wrong. A lot of my people are getting it. But I currently now manage 2 call centers. Two. Dos call centers. and and I've got 14 in one room, 12 in the other. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of emotions. It's a lot of personalities. And the majority of them are women. That's that's the funny part right there. That God would put me in charge of more women. God, I can't. And I have to admit, a few of them are just really, 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 really hot. I mean, and they're trying. Every day I come to work, it's not a joke. There's one or two, always just, looking me up and down the crosses roads and making advances, you know. And I can't, I'm not going to go there, obviously, but it's still, you know, it's part of the job, you know. The pretty ladies. And they don't have a whole lot to pick from. The guys that work here. No, it's no bueno. I guess I hire them on purpose, looking the way they do. I'm just kidding. I don't care. I don't hire people on profile. I hire people based on experience, and then, you know, of course, the boss he profiles the hell out of people. I mean, there's a few individuals I was gonna hire, you know. Notably, this one lady. She'd already worked for a company. She was already trained. She was just, you know, she was money, right? And then because of the way she looked, he actually commented on her not having nails, that her nails weren't done. Like, what? Really? You're not gonna hire a woman because she doesn't have a manicure on? And yeah, she was, you know, on the eyes, she was a little hideous. I gotta tell you, there's nothing, she wasn't really easy on the eyes, but I would have hired her, you know, again, based on performance, you know. But yeah, he looked at her and frowned upon her just based on her looks, and I thought, wow, that's low, dude. But, you know, we never hired that lady, even though I felt she was qualified, so, you know, I hire people based on experience, and then you know, and then if there is a need for it, and if he wants to meet these people, then, you know, then the boss talks to them, and then he makes final determination. That's how it works, right? Um, but the people I've been hiring lately, you know, there's one guy. There's a couple that are not bad, but there's one guy notably. He went right to the top of the board, and he is my boy. He has been kicking ass and taking names. And I hired the kid, I don't know, a couple of months ago. Everybody loves him. I mean, they love the kid. He's a good-looking kid. He's a big boy too. And I mean, you know, he's a strong kid. Not, you know. And I hope he's not watching. But if he is, Kay, I love you, man. You're doing the work that God calls you to do, and that I call you to do. And I ain't God. But you're doing the work, and I appreciate you. That kid's been working like a dog, and I had to move him recently. I wish I didn't have to move him, but at least now he's in my line of sight. I can see him. He's right outside my office, and he's already bugging me, and back and forth. He's really good, really good, and is a nugget, that kid. So yeah, I've had a lot of success with my new hires. I hired both Marias. I have one room. I got This is stupid. I've got one room, one call center that has two teams in there for two different companies in the same room. Don't ask. And I had to hire managers for both those rooms because the previous managers, you know, they moved on. One of them moved out. One of them moved to Colombia. She went back to Colombia, and the other one moved to Orlando. So they're gone, right? They moved, and I had to replace them. And by, you know, coincidence, I ended up hiring two Marias to replace a Maria. I can't make this stuff up. I'm not joking. So whenever anybody asked for Maria, they all turned around when all three of them were in there. And that was funny. But now there's two of them left. And it's funny. The Marias, I hired them, and they were both promoted to managers almost on day one. And they've done well. And then I hired another guy. I tried to put a guy in that room. The room where I have the Marias, it's all women. All women. There's not a guy in there. Well, actually, there is now because I just hired a dude on Friday. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it's all women in there. And I keep hiring more women. I don't know why. It just, you know, that's what the boss tells me to hire, I guess, or who the boss tells me to hire. And I've just been hiring a lot of women. And I don't care who works in there, quite frankly. I need people to do their job. I don't want to do their job for them, you know. So when I hire people, I make sure that, you know, they can do the work. But that being said, you know, there's still a lot of progesterone. Is that what it's called? I forget. But there's a lot of hormones in there. nightmare, and and not that I'm not used to that. Thank you. I used to live with 5 women, cinco women, and it happened on a few occasions that 4 of them were on their period at the same time. Not a joke. I mean, what kind of superhero dude like lives through something like that? 4 women on their period at the same time in my house. Ow! I have literally, I think I've blocked it out psychologically. I remember it was a nightmare. All the bickering and arguing and shouting. Oh my God. Why have you forsaken me? So now I went from having 5 women to having 30 of them. Wow. And there's Banana. Throw Banana in the mix, why don't you? Yeah, and then you get yourself a banana split. Banana is off tomorrow. It's cold in here, man. I'm gonna turn this down. I gotta turn this down. Just a second. I am freezing like a popsicle in here. Oh, wow. Woo. So Banana is off tomorrow, and I think this weekend as well. Not sure what we're going to be doing this weekend. I want to take her camping in this turd. I want to go camping at least one night in this Tesla. I rented it for a month on Turo because I had to, because my ex took my truck. I'm really, really upset, but, hold on. Okay. Oh, here's the invitation. I just got an invitation to my boss's birthday party, which was supposed to be designed by the woman I hired, which didn't turn out good. And yeah, I just got the invite. I just got invited to her birthday party. My boss. It's an all-white party. And I made a stupid joke yesterday. I don't know. I just have no buffer. So it's an all-white party. I got nothing white. I have nothing white. I'm thinking, tell me if you think this is a good idea. Taking one of the, whatever I've got that I own, pair of pants that I can, that fit, pair of socks, pair of shoes maybe, I don't know, a shirt, and I'm thinking a $5 can of spray paint. What do you think? I'm not going to go out and spend money getting clothes to go to a birthday party that I shouldn't even go to begin with. My boss is a multi-millionaire, This party is like at one of the most incredible venues. I can't even afford valet parking, I don't even know where I'm going to park. And now I got to buy clothes to go to this shindig? I mean, when it said it was an all-white party, I thought, I'm good to go. I'm white, right? But that's not enough. Apparently, I got to wear white. So, and apparently, that's not what they meant when they said all white. Apparently, there are going to be a few brown people there. I don't know. I don't know. What the hell am I going to do? I got to wear white. I have nothing white. I don't have a shirt. Do I still have a white shirt somewhere? I don't even know. All my clothes, I left all my clothes back on the at my house in Brooksville. I left a lot of my clothes back there when I was forced to leave my home, thanks to a court order and a divorce, of course. So I left my clothes behind, and then one day I got a text message telling me that all my stuff had been piled up and set on fire. So I don't have clothes back at the house anymore. It is what it is, right? It's my fault somehow. All of it is my fault. It has to be, right? So this weekend, what are we doing? I want to camp. I want to take this turd and go camping. Maybe go to Key West on Saturday. I can't really afford anything. I can't. I am so broke. My God. I know you're looking at me going, why you drive a Tesla? No, I'm renting a Tesla. I'm renting a Tesla because I can't drive my truck and because my van's got a blown head gasket and it's no bueno no more, right? So I needed to rent something and I didn't rent a Tesla. That's not what I rented from Turo. I rented a Volkswagen, like a Jetta. It was a Jetta, I think. And I've got this technique. I've got this thing that I do on Turo, and I'm going to tell you guys how I do it. I rent super last minute. Like I rent the car roughly about an hour before I got to pick it up. Okay, an hour. And I rent it for a month. You with me here? Okay. It's a monthly rental on Turo, right? And the reason why I rent it for a month is because that cuts the rate in half. So I get the cheapest car on Turo, right? For a month. That's about 500, 600 bucks, give or take. That's usually what it is for the cheapest car. And if I do it just right, and I don't mind the cheapest car, I need a car. I don't care. I don't care what I rent. As long as it's transportation, it's reliable, I'm good to go. And fun, preferably, right? If I have a choice. So I rent a car last minute. And then the host usually will, and then I send the host a message right away telling him I'm on my way to pick up the car, right? And I am. Except I usually will get a message back from them, either one or the other. It's either they message me back and tell me, no, the car's not ready. You know, even though they set it up on their end that they need a minimum 1 hour notice. Everybody needs more than an hour when you're renting your own car. You need to clean it out, maybe wash it, I don't know. So that creates a bit of a challenge for the host. And so they either tell me the car's not going to be ready on time and they have to cancel. They have to cancel the contract. Or B, they just cancel the contract because A, the car is not ready, or B, because they're not making enough money by having their rate cut in half. The hosts know this, that when they can choose to offer a monthly rate or not. It's their choice. And when they offer a monthly rate, they agree to prorate their rate, over a monthly rental. So what happens when I rent these cheap cars is I can't rent them. They get canceled almost every single time. I'm not going to say almost. Every time I've tried to rent one of those cars last minute, they cancel every time. I've never been able to pick up a car last minute. And so when they cancel like that, I call Turo and I tell them I want the credit applied toward another vehicle. And then I explain to them my situation. I need a car now. Not tomorrow. No, I need a car now, and it needs to be within 10 miles of my home, as the other car was, right? I usually choose a car close to my home. So I explain the circumstances to them, and then, I usually will ask to speak to a supervisor and try and elevate the call as quickly as I can. And then when I get to speak to a supervisor and I explain to them my situation, and I also share my frustration and infuriation with their company, they go the extra mile. They find me a car, and then they recommend a few cars, and then I get, usually the cars are a lot better than that cheap one, because they help me book a car which is a better car for the same price. They eat up the difference. That's what I like about Turo. So they eat up the difference. Sometimes it's only a couple $100, right? And then they'll give me a second car, and then I'll text the host and tell them, hey, I'm on my way to pick up the car. And guess what happens? They get canceled, right? I get a cancellation, again, a second one. And this happens almost every single time. So then I'll call Turo, and they'll help me now with a third car. And by this time, the third car is getting to be pretty nice. And so far, I went from a Volkswagen Jetta, and they elevated me to, the second car was, I think it was, oh, come on. One of them was an SUV. I forget what it was, but it was a nice SUV, and I tried to rent that one, and it didn't work. Well, it wasn't a Transit. I forget what it was. It was an SUV. It was a Ford of some sort. And that got canceled. And then by the time they gave me a third car, now we're starting to be up in the price. And I noticed that, I know because eventually I'm able to see that. I'm able to see that that the price, my cost is the same, but the actual what the cost is costing Turo, what the car is costing Turo is almost 2x by this point. And so this is how I got into this car. I had 3 cancellations back to back, and then eventually they offered me a Tesla because it was close to home. It was available. They were able to contact the host and speak to him, and he said, "Yeah, the car is ready." And there you have it. That's how I. And by the way, this car costs $2,200 per month to rent on Turo with the 50% off deal. That's what Turo paid the host, $2,200. That means the car is about $4,500 a month to rent this turd. And I got it for 6. 6 mils. That's how I do it. That's why I have all these Teslas, and that's how I've got all these, this Genesis G80 that I drove for God knows how long. I think it was, 6 months? Then I had the Camaro. Remember that Camaro that I had? That was, oh man, that red Camaro was a weed. And then before that, I had that Volvo that was nice. Then I drove the Mustang. And then I had that Pathfinder. I lived in that Pathfinder when I lost my home. Did you know that? I was homeless for a bit. I had to live in a Pathfinder. I got a video. You guys should check it out about the setup in my Pathfinder. It wasn't too bad. It was better than vacation. Than my little vacation in Hernando County last year or a year ago. Was it last year? The year before? Yeah, it was better than the bed I had on my vacation, or the several beds I had. I remember sleeping on the floor for a little while there while I was on vacation, thanks to my ex-wife and her generosity, her love, her encouragement. Yeah, divorce sucks, and so does my ex-wife. That's all I got. So today on this live, what do I have for you guys? This weekend, going to be traveling with Banana. Going to try and go somewhere. And next weekend, I got a show. I got to go to a show. Got a 3-day show I got to go to. It's going to be a pain in my... It's going to be a pain. But I got to do it. I got to do what I got to do, right? Show is on. Showtime. So yeah, I'm going to be going live again tonight from the Tesla with Banana. We're going to try and do it. So listen, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, whatever. But yeah, tonight we're going to be watching some YouTube videos in here, I hope. And living La Vida Loca, making pizza. Again, made pizza last night. It was nice. I fixed that pizza maker. I had a pizza maker that went boo-boo. And I fixed it. Just a single wire. Simple wire that just had to reconnect and, do a little this and that. So, like, comment, subscribe. See you tonight. Ciao.